Right. So I'm going step by step. So I covered the grammar. Now I'll go to edito. Then I'll come to the speaking section. Then I'll come to listening, then reading and writing. So I'll all right. So next, moving on to edito. So in edito, I would say first important thing is there is a study resource that is provided by Beavaters. In my opinion, that is a very valuable resource. Maybe some people don't value that because it's available as part of the course, but that is very beneficial. At least it was very beneficial for me. Why? Because if I pick up a edito book itself without the resource, then it's all in French, and if I have to cover the whole chapter by myself, then it will take a lot of time doing the conversions, translations and all. So I'll start any of the chapter, edito chapter, with the Bpata's PDF resource. Okay, so because it has English and French translation, and it has basically the crux of the whole chapter. So I'll start off with that, and I'll get a good understanding of what the chapter is about. And so that's one part. So pay attention to those PDFs. That would be an advice. Second is there are boxes in the edito. Those have expressions, and those are already in the study resource itself. Third important thing to cover from edito is audios. Audios for listening is really good from edito. So basically, I used to do that in 3 iterations. So basically, I'll pick up an audio, listen it as is, okay, and maybe I understood probably 60% of it, okay, and then I'll repeat that. That's second iteration. I'll repeat that audio, but this time with the text. I'll read the text at the same point, and probably this time I'll understand 70%. And then I'll do the third iteration, which is basically again listening without without script. So for each audio, I used to do 3 iterations. Okay, and this helps. You can maybe close your eyes and just focus on that. That also helps, but just don't sleep if that's the case. But you can close your eyes, and because if your eyes are open, then then your visual is open. You can see anything, and it can be distracting. So maybe you can close your eyes and just focus on listening. So edito audios are really good for the listening part. You should be paying attention to that. Another thing to take from edito is the vocab. Vocab is really good because it's very much categorized, like by places, by clothes, or etc. So it's very categorized. You should be using that. So those are the points from edito. Edito pedagogic I will come later, but those are the few important things that should be doing from edito. Now coming to the speaking, there are a few things that I used. So I'll come in terms of the priority. So first one is the speaking partner. I think speaking partner you should find as soon as possible. Like don't delay it till you are like you think you are at a B1, B2. Maybe when you are done with like first 15, 20 videos, you can find a speaking partner. Okay, and so look up for a speaking partner who is serious. Like maybe asking like what's their timeline. First you have to set your own timeline for the exam, then ask them like what's their timeline they're looking at. So let's say if you're planning to give exam in September, and another person gives a response that he or she will give like jab denge tab denge kind of. Okay, so maybe he or she is not the right person because they won't be putting the same amount of effort as you might be putting, or you might be serious. So look for a person who's, if you're targeting September, another person is also targeting to give the exam around similar timeline. Okay, so that's the first thing. So now where you can find the speaking partner, one, you can use the obviously Bbata's chat group, and you will be able to find your colleagues. Second thing, because one partner won't stick for 9 to 10 months, for multiple reasons you might have to change. Second is I use a language exchange platform. It's basically a language that you might know, like English, Hindi, Punjabi, or any other language, and that language someone wants to learn, and you want to learn French, so you can do a language exchange. So you have to be really lucky to find a person who do that with you for a continuous, a long period of time. So I was lucky in that terms. I was able to find a French native. He was from south of France. So I did for around 4 to 5 months with him. So basically 1 hour session, 30 minutes I used to teach him English or converse in English, and 30 minutes we used to do French. So he was really flexible with that. Like weekly we used to do 3 or 4 sessions. But having said that, if you're not able to find that, then that's not the end of end of your learning, thinking that if you're not finding a native, then you can't learn speaking. That's not a case. You can get a partner from like India itself, and that's pretty much good. There is one downside to this looking a partner from French is basically if you're short of time, then you're spending 30 minutes on English and 30 minutes of French. Your 30 minutes are getting wasted in terms of kind of that. So maybe you could do one direct French session with your speaking partner. Another resource I used for speaking partner was LinkedIn. Okay, so LinkedIn, I found around 8 to 10 people. People were nice. So basically, I use a strategy for that. But LinkedIn people won't continue for long because I don't see there's a benefit for them. But out of courtesy, some people help. So LinkedIn, what I used was like I come from data science background. So I only approached people in France or who speak French. From the data science field or data analytics or software field, because they are able to connect. That's what I thought, and they were able to connect with me, understand my background, and people will take out 30 minutes or 45 minutes from their schedule just to help you out, but they won't continue for that for long. But still I was able to get around 8 to 10 sessions for free, and some speaking with the different partners. So LinkedIn was another. So these are all free. Paid resources, italki and Preply for speaking, that I have used. What I would say is don't use that in your A1 or A2 level. Like when you're not able to speak much, don't use that, because you won't be speaking. But the idea of that session is basically you have to speak more. But if not able to, you're taking a lot of times framing the sentences, that your time will run out and you're spending more. So basically, you can do few of those sessions. I did just few of those sessions, but you can do that at a later stage where you're little more comfortable in speaking. Then just for the practice, you can go for those paid sessions if those work. If doesn't, then I would say speaking partner like from India itself, it's pretty much very good. I've spoken with many people. Okay. One important thing to avoid in your speaking session is don't make it a grammar session. Okay, so basically when you start off with the speaking session with your speaking partner, they'll listen and they'll just pick up, because everyone is in the grammar stage, so they'll pick up the grammar mistakes and then point you out. This is not passé composé, this is imparfait or something like that. So they'll keep on pointing on that, and the whole discussion turns out into be a grammar session. So my advice is, these things you can note down at the end and maybe discuss, but let the other partner speak the way he or she is speaking. Just let the thoughts come out, or let the vocab what's inside come out as is. Don't try to correct much on the grammar, because grammar you are already doing on the side. Both of you would be doing preparing separately, so that can be done on the side, but don't make a speaking session as a grammar session. Second important thing I did was a shadowing technique. So basically, shadowing, if you don't know, it's really helpful. You can look up any video, a 5 minutes video, what a shadowing technique is. It's basically you have to imitate a native speaker. So pick up a speaker from YouTube which you like listening. Okay. So for example, I used to listen to Inner French Hugo, but you can listen to pick up a speaker that you like to listen, maybe male or female. Okay, and just try to imitate or speak what he's speaking without any gaps. So he speak 2 words, you speak 2 words in continuous. Don't let the sentence complete and then you repeat the sentence. Just he speaks and you just it's an echo basically. So do that practice. Your fluency will improve, and your mouth muscles for French will enhance. So you can look up shadowing technique. It's pretty much used for any language, and you can try it out. That was the second thing that I used. Another third important thing that I use for speaking, it's also really helpful. It will help you to get fluent, but it's a hard process. People give up on this one. It's basically a story recording from your personal experience. So basically pick up your own experience in the past. So let's say maybe you went for hiking, or you went for some trip. Okay, so let's take an example of hiking. You pick up a hiking example. Now think of that, like what you did. Maybe you went to this place with 4 friends. You spent around 20 minutes there, and you did these activities. You were tired, you did dinner there, and some story like this which is from your personal experience. Pick that story, Okay, you can think initially, you can think of that story in English. Do this for 5 minutes, okay, and then just start your webcam or a phone recording, video recording, and then just say that same story in French. Now the struggle starts here, and people don't do this activity. This activity is really helpful. People don't do this activity because it's a lot of push through the brain. So basically, you have to speak that same story in the French. So if you're stuck at a word which you don't know, you know English but you don't know French, just speak in English and continue that. If you don't know two words or a sentence, just speak that in English and just push through the speaking most of the part in the French. So when you're done with your this one story for 5 minutes approx, then stop the recording and just rewatch that and see where you were, where you were falling short of French words. Now make a vocab out of that. Okay, so and do like this. You do around 10 to 15 stories, like whatever is feasible for you. I did around 10 to 12 maybe. So how this will help you is because, like in English also, like if I have to communicate some message, I'll use my own set of words, and some other person will use their set of words to communicate the same thing. So similarly, to build your own French vocabulary for speaking, everyone French vocabulary will be different. Some will be common, obviously, what you're picking from Edito, but how you're actually practically using it will come from this exercise. So by doing this story recording from your personal experiences, you will, after 10 or 12, you will build an vocab of, using the French words and when speaking out anything. So if any topic comes, you will use more or less, you will use those connectors or those things to communicate your message. So this is really helpful. So when we talk about fluency, it's not about like, so many words, like 100,000 words for an example, but you should know, like, whatever vocab that you have in place in your mind, how to use that to communicate the message. So that will be done through these techniques. So I used a speaking partner, second was shadowing, and third was on the fluency technique, which is story recording. So that was on speaking. Any questions on speaking? After that, I'll come to listening.
Yeah, no, I got the gist. I mean how much effort we have to put, but yeah, thanks for that.